Good Wednesday evening. It's Wednesday. Good Wednesday evening to you all out there, and welcome in. I hope you're having a wonderful week. Welcome into the not the initial 53-man roster reaction show, but like the second edition of the 53-man roster reaction show. The practice squad's not filled yet, so there might be there should be shenanigans. We don't know, but welcome in. We appreciate you all. Welcome to another episode of the Parking Garage Show. I'm Jacob, Mr. Casey Kinnaman, and Nick Carnes down below. Please make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel wherever you're watching us. Go over to the youtube.com/@thebarkingbrowns. Hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. We really, really appreciate it. If you want to join the Discord, go over to YouTube. There's a link to the Discord in the description down below the video on YouTube. If you want to listen to me ramble all day and stuff like that, you can do those things. And I want to be clear that I did not walk away from my computer until 7:31 in case he was not logged on. Anyway, gentlemen, how are we doing tonight?
I don't know. Being lied to, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
It's been a wild day. Been a wild 2 days, really, with everything that's happened. And it's a lot of news coming in, and I feel mostly positive about it, which it's a good place to be, I think.
Yeah, because it's like the make or break in terms of vibes. Like the vibe season is now, so it's the make or break with that. So
I think, not to dive directly into it, but this whole, the Browns are going to keep four quarterbacks. The Browns are going to keep four quarterbacks. I'm glad that's done, man. I'm glad that's done. And don't get old and don't tear your rotator cuff. Neither one are fun.
if you had to rank them, which one's worse?
That's a good question, because I'll tell you something I've realized as I'm now 35. Because I've fractured both ankles twice, which is what led to this, because my tendons are shit. The thing is that when you get old, nothing heals anymore. Nothing heals. Nothing heals the way it should. It's always a struggle. So I guess getting old is like when you're a kid, you feel invincible, man. I sure as hell don't feel invincible anymore.
Bro, wait till you get in your 40s. It's rough. It's rough. You can sneeze wrong, and then your back's just done.
I'll tell you what, man. I'm wearing ankle braces to work from here on out.
Yeah, well, there's old and then there's ancient, right? Like, let's just be clear. I'm the young guy here. I'm the young one.
That's true.
The young one. I'm 34. I don't feel young. Yeah, you know what's really kind of funny? But yeah, so you talk about the four quarterback thing. So we're here to talk about the 53-man roster reaction. Over the active roster, there's only been two changes to the active roster from yesterday to today. Mm-hmm. And that's the two people that were picked up on waivers, mm-hmm. And then the two that were waived as a result, one of which is already back on the practice squad. Mm-hmm. I'm not really sure how that happens, because I thought it had
to be 24 hours through waivers, and they announced it while you were still in Sports for CLE that it went through.
Yeah. I was doing Sports for CLE earlier, and Dave's like, yeah, no, Brendan Bates, the tight end, was one of the guys that got waived, and they're like, oh, he's back on the practice squad. So I'm gonna bring it up here. Somebody filibuster.
Well, let's go ahead and go around the horn real quick. So the initial 53, when it happened, who are you guys most surprised didn't make the 53?
Well, I'll just go out on a limb. I haven't been on X as much, but I saw I was getting cooked for the Deontay Johnson tweet. I really thought he was going to make the roster, man.
I did too. I thought he was going to be the bottom of it, but I thought it was like playable depth at that point, but.
Like the hey, I got one last shot in this NFL type situation, and it seems that just didn't happen. So that message hit our little group chat, and I was like, well, fuck.
I would say he was definitely amongst the people that I was. Here's the offense, the 53-man roster offense. This is the initial 53. So the only difference here being that
Wait, Jacob.
It's
You got this is not
oh shit.
Dorian Thompson Robinson's on
Did you
that
just do that to us? No, look at the first name. Look at that first name. And that was the picture too.
I didn't.
All right, well, I'll keep filibustering what you do, what you're doing. I had a couple. Winston Reed came out of nowhere, being on the IR. I had him as a lot going into it, which opened up the door for EMA. Still haven't learned your full name. My apologies, sir. You're definitely worthy. You're a hell of an athlete. But then I had Amani Marshall. I thought Amani Marshall had a really good shot at the 53, but obviously they kind of knew going into it they were only going to keep 2 initially and then pick someone up through the waiver process, which they had plenty of options. I know everybody's focused on Audric Estime and I like Damian Martinez a great deal. And then they kind of left fielded me and went with Rocket Sanders.
Yeah.
And Amani Marshall ended up on the practice squad, so all is well. They're still affiliated with the team. But that was a surprise for me. And I got to be honest, man, like I even though me and Jacob we predicted the 53, and I won by one player, and that one player was when I wish casted Schmidt as the kicker. I completely wish casted that. I had no reason to believe for sure that he was going to be the guy, but cooler heads prevailed, and they got a guy who was down the middle.
It was Schmidt and it was DeAndre Carter. Because I didn't have DeAndre Carter.
Yeah, I didn't wish cast that one. I was like, for whatever reason, they love that. They can't get enough of it. It gets their rocks off having a guy who only does one thing. So that and until they show me they don't keep that guy, I always predict them to keep that guy. It came down to it though. I think the difference was only one player from what me and Jacob predicted.
Yeah. So Jacob then predicted Hopkins to make the roster in case you did. Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
I get okay, obviously he's been struggling, but it just surprises me to see the era just end so quickly, I guess. And it's like we're right back to square one with the kicking and the kicking game. And I think it was the right decision given Hopkins' struggles, but it's just I really thought when they extended him, we had found our kicker for the future, and it's just obviously that's not the case. So we'll see what Schmidt has to do.
Well, the thing is, man, Hopkins, I get why they did what they did as far as extending him. You know what I mean? The dude had a bananas 23, 8 for 8 above 50, won several games for us, over 91% field goal percentage. But his whole fate changed when Damian Pierce took that ball to the house in Houston, and he came up playing with his hamstring. He has not been right since that moment, you know? And we'll always have 23, but the reality is it's gone. And I'm glad that they saw fit to move off of it, regardless of the money owed, because that's not worth costing you games.
So, yeah, I'm trying to think if I have anybody that. Here's the thing. I understand your point about the patience with the kickers. Have they lost patience with their kickers? He missed 9 field goals and 3 extra points last year.
Mm-hmm. And he had a brutal preseason.
Yeah.
And he was barely making the ones he made.
Yeah.
This preseason. It's just sometimes you get in your head, you can't get out of your head in any way, shape, or form. And he just could not get out of his head in any way, shape, or form. And that's just where it ends. So here's the offense. The way the offense looks a little bit different than what this is. So they keep Flacco, Gabriel, and Shedeur, Jerome Ford, and Dylan Sampson. Now they have added Raheem Sanders, which means Rocket Sanders. That's better.
Yeah, it sounds better.
Is his nickname Rocket?
Yeah. He goes by Rocket Sanders.
Love that.
So then you got Isaiah Bond, DeAndre Carter, Jerry Jeudy, Gage Larvidan, Jamari Thrash, Cedric Tillman. Brendan Bates is no longer on the active. He is now on the practice squad or waived on his way.
Yeah.
You're right. You're 100% right. So, 100%. But Brendan Bates is now on the practice squad, but that's Harold Fannin, David Njoku, Blake Whiteheart, Joel Batonio, Jack Conklin, Tevin Jenkins, DeJuan Jones, KT Leviston, which is the guy they traded for with the Rams. Apparently, this is my favorite part of it. I wasn't even looking, and then I saw that. I looked up long enough to see that.
Go Cox.
My favorite part about the KT Leviston thing is he was practicing yesterday. Did he just not leave Cleveland over the weekend? Did they just call and be like, "Hey, we're going to work out a deal. We'll keep him in town," because he was practicing on Tuesday, yesterday.
Yeah, he was.
Unless he went back and then flew immediately back. I don't know. I thought that was interesting. Cornelius Lucas, Ethan Posick, Wyatt Teller, Luke Whippler, Zach Center. That is your offense. Who am I missing? Who else? They waived Brendan Bates. Who else did they? Oh, it was Dom Jones. So in the defensive lines, Malik Collins, Myles Garrett, Mason Graham, Mike Hall. That was my favorite part of piece of news. When they released the 53, the best part was, hey, Mike Hall has passed his physical and is on the active roster. I was like, and I got like 200 likes, by the way, on Twitter. I was like,
oh yeah.
Which is like a lot to me. It's not like a lot to Nick, but Nick
hey man,
Nick will tweet a picture of a wall and get 1,000 likes. What the fuck's going on here? Shelby Harris, Aiden Huntington, was just an absolute monster in the preseason. Isaiah McGuire, Cam Thomas, JTS, and Alex Wright, Jerome Baker, Devin Bush. EMA, there's the surprise name.
Yeah.
Do you want me to try it? Easton? Nope.
Easton Mascarenas Arnold.
Mascarenas. Now that you say it, I can see it. Once I actually heard it.
Oh, that doesn't mean I'm correct. That's just phonetically what it looks like. But EMA, come on, man, EMA. Dude was a dog all preseason. We'll go and go through the rest of them because I want to talk about something.
Okay. I just wanted to go through this real quick so everybody sees the names that didn't, and then we'll take it off the screen so we can just talk about whatever we want. And Carson Schlesinger, the defensive backfield, Grant Delpit, Miles Harden, Ronnie Hickman, Rayshon Jenkins. Dom Jones has since been waived.
Okay.
God, I have his name written down 1,000,000 times, and I still.
I mean, to be fair to you, there's been a lot of changes, of news.
But part of his name is like, okay, Jarek Bernard Converse is the guy they claimed from the Jets. He replaced Dom Jones. DeMonte Casey, Donovan McMillan, Cam Mitchell, Greg Newsome, Denzel Ward, Corey Bajorquez, Andre Schmidt, and Rex Sunahara. That means when they claimed Rocket Sanders, they've got what is that? 4 UDFAs because Dom Jones was a UDFA and they waived him.
Kind of really.
So four of them. Yeah. Because they picked up Raheem Sanders. He was a UDFA, which is still the craziest.
The class was so deep at running back. He was definitely a draftable player, and in most years he would have probably went 4th round.
Wow.
The class was just so deep at running back. You know what I mean?
Bill says.
Say it again.
I'm sorry. Bill has a clarification for Bates.
But yeah, well, how did Bates wind up on the practice squad without having to go through waivers?
This is what I'm told. So the reason Bates was waived and brought back is that typically there is 24-hour period before waiver. 24-hour period for waivers, meaning Bates enters waivers, then teams have 24 hours put on thing. With cut down day, teams can actually waive a player at noon on Wednesday after the initial claim and re-sign players waived prior to the end of the league day at 4 p.m.
So he was okay.
So it was just they did it at the absolute loophole time is what I
mean. Yeah. Well, because that makes sense. You were on Sports for CLE at like 5 after 4, and that's Dave had it announced by 4:10.
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, by the way, okay, all right." No, not that one.
I'm not clicking on that.
Yeah,
I see what.
Ain't no clicking over here.
As a fellow guy who's getting thin on top of me, I ain't clicking on that. I'm bringing light to that subject.
Hey man, I know that.
It's rude.
I'll click on this though.
Yeah, that was rude. I don't know what I did.
Notice he's grumpy today.
He's really mad at me.
Right.
And then, okay, you go ahead.
Well, I just think we need to point out, man, like we're coming into this year feeling pretty good about the roster, and we just had, I think, 10 rookies between draft picks and UDFAs make this roster. And with the exception of Bond, every one of them earned it. Bond kind of got shoehorned in because he would have been, a third, fourth round pick, wherever you had him. He's talented, and he was a coveted person because of not being in the draft, basically. And we've seen that before with offensive linemen, but the point is, EMA, McMillan, you know what I mean? Like, you can go down the list. Aiden Huntington, these dudes fucking earned it. Gage. Like, I would have not in a million years thought we'd have had more than 2 UDFAs going into this. And even then, it's like you'd have to squint to see it. Congrats, man. Because people don't understand what that takes. You know what I'm saying? There's everybody's familiar with the 7 rounds and the guys that come in, and even then, if you're a 6th, 7th rounder, you're not guaranteed a spot just because the team drafted you. You know what I mean? Like, you could easily get passed up. So these guys who filter in through the UDFA, man, to actually latch on and make the 53, it's one thing to kind of survive, and like Lamarian James, and he's on the practice squad. I'm super glad that he's still, associated with the team, and he might work his way onto the 53 at some point, maybe not even this year, maybe next year, but to actually make the 53 straight up, man, that's an accomplishment. They should be proud of themselves.
Bill, sorry, I'll give you in just a second. Bill, I'm starring your comment because I want to bring that up in a minute. So I see what you're saying, and I see what you're saying, Serge. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. Go ahead.
I just want to highlight, too, that before he got hurt, Luke Floria looked like he could have been another diamond in the rough that the Browns have found. And it's just interesting to me how they consistently seem to be able to find these guys out of nowhere. And it doesn't – it at the very least excites me. Like, I know there's a lot of knocks on Andrew Berry, and I get that. And, like, a bunch of people have been responding to me lately, like, when I talk about the 2 first-round picks, and they're like, well, Andrew Berry's not going to be making those picks, and da-da-da. So I don't know what the future is there. But what I do know is that there's definitely an eye for talent. It certainly has work to do, but there's definitely
some flaws, but yes.
Yeah.
And I also want to point out that I'm glad Nick brought him up, but Floria, like the way they handled his injury, he's subject to come back after he's healthy. They have it set up to where they can bring him back, get him on the practice squad as soon as he's, can return. So, like, we probably haven't seen the last of him either.
I hope not.
Yeah. And it's just so funny because every year we sit here and we say, like, we always do the UDFA thing, right? Because you're like, how'd that guy go undrafted? How'd that guy go undrafted? And then it'll be like a cool story, and then they go to the practice squad and you never hear of them again or anything like that. And it's always like, I'll write these articles and we'll have these podcasts where like these guys could make it, but they're UDFAs. And they're UDFAs for a reason, and and you do, and then you fast forward to this year, you've seen, in years prior to this, you've seen D'Anthony Bell and Ronnie Hickman make it. Like, they've made it rosters. They've had UDFAs. They haven't had a situation where I feel like they especially guys like Huntington and Larvidan and EMA, like, and really Sanders wasn't with them, but they got their hands forced, which is a good thing. They got their hands forced because guys show, hey, I've got something worth keeping me around for. Like, yeah.
Well, it's weird. The first 2 years of this regime, no UDFAs.
Right.
And then Bell kind of cracked the code, and then we started to see a little bit of trickle. But, yeah, man, the one part of the guardrail, we always focus on the ages and stuff, but, like, not paying for depth.
Yeah. Get a bunch
this is how you do it. This is, you know what I mean? Bring these guys up through. They're going to be depth at first. Maybe some of these guys play themselves into permanent starting roles over the next 2 or 3 years. You know what I mean?
I should know this, but for some reasons behind the scenes, I haven't been able to keep up as well. But is Ronnie Hickman? I should have seen this. Did Ronnie Hickman make the team?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's another UDFA that now is found.
Right. But a UDFA that had already been here. I was just talking.
So I'm just saying.
But they have two in that room now.
Yeah. All I'm saying is it's one thing to be a UDFA and like make the team for a year, right? It's another thing to be a UDFA and like have actual longevity with a team, and I think you're starting to see that as well, which is really interesting.
And so then, we'll keep going. Okay, so then you get kind of the adjustments to it, right? We talk about first coming in Raheem Sanders. So I'm going to talk about him for a second.
Okay.
This is a 220 pound, 217, I think. I saw some people listen at 225. He's a load. All right. Like, they call him Rocket Sanders because despite being pretty thick, I mean, you look at him and you're like, not sure I want to tackle that guy.
Yeah.
I think he could. I think sometimes he goes down a little bit too easily for as big as he is. Like I think that's like part of the issue of why he was undrafted. But he's floating around 220, runs with power, and has a 4.46, which is why he's Rocket Sanders. So you're potentially looking at this running back room. And I think it's very possible that they carry 4 when Judkins is back. But you're looking at 3 rookies in that room. And I was talking to Casey earlier, and, Sanders brings what they didn't have, a power back. Don't be mistaken that he doesn't have enough speed because he's got 4.46 speed. Like, he's got Quinshon Judkins speed. Like, he's right there too. And also pretty good pass catcher. He's pretty good hands.
Pretty good nimble feet, man.
As
we speak.
Stylistically, he's a one-cut guy, which is what you want in his own scheme.
Yeah, he's not. There's not a lot of wiggle there, not a lot of twitch. Like he's not juking people out of their shoes. But can he put his foot in the ground, change direction once, and go? Yeah, pretty good vision. Pretty good vision, but like sometimes I think he's like, I think sometimes he's like Zach Charbonnet with a little more juice. Yeah.
And Zach Charbonnet was what, like a 2nd round pick?
Yeah, I think sometimes Sanders is a little too patient. Sometimes I think he waits a little too long to take off, and that can be a problem.
You would rather that than the opposite, though, because in the zone scheme you have to have some patience. So they want to, make him more decisive and see it, and you got to, the second you see it, you got to be gone. And you got to actually anticipate seeing it before it's even really there, as far as hitting those cutback lanes and stuff.
But he rounds out the room without Judkins. And then all of a sudden I told you, I was like, we might have 3 rookies in this room. And I think it's the one position that you could be all rookie and kind of figure it out. I don't know, man. Like, I was an Audric Estime guy, but like Raheem Sanders from South Carolina, check him out on YouTube if you want to check it out. But like, I don't think he should have been a UDFA. I had a 5th on him, 4th or a 5th, somewhere in that range. He's one of the better power backs that I thought, well, if they go for a power back later in the draft, that's where they'll go. I think it rounds out the room really, really well. And then if you're looking potentially at the future with life after Jerome Ford, although you're right, Casey, none of them can fucking pass block. Not even Sanders. Not good. He's not good. But it's a very cheap room and a run-heavy scheme, and I think they've got skill sets with the 3 that they got plus Judkins. I think that it's a pretty well-balanced room. I mean, it's a lot. You're banking on a lot of upside and unprovenness, but yeah. I mean, you've got a bunch of rookies. I told Casey, I was like, you could just run them all into the ground. They're all rookies.
Yeah, from running the ball perspective, I have no issue with what they've done here. And I like Sanders. I would have preferred Damian Martinez. That's just personal preference. But, you know what I mean? You do see the vision of what's going on here. The pass pro does worry me. I can't lie, because a lot of my hopes of what the season could be is dependent on Joe Flacco staying off the ground. And I just hope there isn't a blown assignment where they, don't identify something or late sliding over and Joe takes a lick. I'm just hopeful they don't see one of these rookie quarterbacks early in the season. If we do see them, I'm hopeful that it's down the line. But this you can scheme around some things, and you can maybe Aiden Huntington plays more of a role as fullback in some of these situations. Fannin staying in the chip, stuff like that. You try to mitigate it. But, yeah, man, three rookies and Jerome Ford. You know what I mean? Like I didn't see it coming. I definitely didn't see it coming.
Yeah, that's definitely not the route I thought they would take.
I'm really glad that they got a guy that looks like he's a scheme fit. Because I was thinking about last year's running back room and comparing it to this year's running back room in my head. And it's like, last year you had Nick Chubb coming back from injury, Jerome Ford, and Pierre Strong. Mm-hmm. Oh, and Deontay Foreman.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And so I think I would rather have this year's running back room than last.
Last year's had a little bit more proven, even though there was some injury, but it didn't have the upside that this one does.
Right. And we'll still see with Quinshawn. Who knows what the timeline is for that.
I think Dylan's – well, I was told –
I think Jacob's got the proper approach to Quinshawn right now.
What's that?
Just pretend he doesn't exist. Just pretend he doesn't exist.
Yeah.
That way you can't get hurt when he's not coming back. Just pretend. Then it's like a bonus when he does show up. It's like, oh.
People will bring it up, and I'm like, oh, right, that guy. I think I even said it on Sports for CLE today. I said, until he exists, he doesn't, to me.
I think that's the proper way to look at it right now.
Because I keep getting like, oh, we're going to know something soon. And I'm like, yeah. And then it's like, no. And then you're like, Rashee Rice got his suspension.
That's what I saw. Right. And that's the road I was going down. I was like, all right, we're starting to get some movement on these guys that there's like a whole shroud of mystery around. It's like the Rashee Rice conversation went from he's going to get 4 games to he could get it blocked and then get suspended in the middle of the season to maybe he can get it pushed out to 2026, And we've gone through like that whole speculation. So it's like to start getting answers there, like hope we just like, I don't think I'll just say this. I don't think that they're going to take the whole season from Quinshawn without any decision. I just couldn't see that being a reality. Like I imagine we're going to get a decision sooner or later.
I think I was told recently, like within the next 24 to 48 hours, and it's been about 24 hours.
Okay. Good to know.
I'm reading these comments on the initial 53-man roster when Cleveland.com tweeted it out, and this guy says, "Can we trust a kicker with no vowels in his name?" And I'm like, wait, no vowels. SZMY. Yeah, nope.
Yeah.
Sometimes why? You remember?
It
was always sometimes why. This will be the time where it's why.
Sometimes it's why. All right, I want to move to the wide receiver room because I think it's important.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's go.
So I'm going to talk about this.
Bill.
Surge. No, I'm getting to Bill's comment. Just a second. Are you talking about the one I have starred? Yeah. I heard this. Yeah. 24 to 48 hours. And it was 24 hours ago. At least it was when I heard it. I respect how they recognize the young talent instead of holding on to crusty vets like Deontay Johnson. Especially with the practice squad edition that they made today at wide receiver.
Right.
So, shut up, Jeff. You're just trying to antagonize me.
Yeah.
Respect it.
So Malachi Corley joins the Browns practice squad today after being waived.
1 year after being a 3rd round pick?
Yeah. I'm not super sure. That's when I was talking to somebody, and I'm like, I'm not really sure. I would love to dig a little deeper into what happened there. He fell out of favor, I guess. It's a new regime too. And it was like a new regime, new quarterback, new all this stuff. They made the move on. The potential of this wide receiver room, like Bill says, he's ecstatic about it. I'm ecstatic about its potential. Like it could be it does have the potential to be more dangerous than we thought. For one, Larvin and Thrash and what they've done in camp and the preseason is more than I didn't expect anything out of Larvidan. I was hoping I would see this out of Thrash, but I was cautious about it because I keep falling for these small, twitchy receivers and like mid-round picks where I get all hyped up and I'm like, I'm not doing it. But so those guys make me feel better. People are calling it the worst room in football. I don't think that's accurate. Now I will say there isn't a lot of proven. We are still going off of Jamari Thrash taking a step in year 2, Isaiah Bond and Malachi Corley being added. These are guys with a lot of potential. Will they get there? I don't know. Fell out of favor with the new regime, had concerns about immaturity. Yeah. I did hear that he tried to get $100,000 from Devontae Adams to give up his jersey number last year.
I respect it.
I mean, to a point, I do too.
He saw the contract that Devontae signed.
Yes, he's like, I know what kind of money you're making. Give me a little bit of that. Give me a little bit of that cheddar. But so you look at Isaiah Bond, speed, explosiveness. Malachi Corley, another 4-4 guy. And they called him the Yak God in college because you know what? You had some good lines about it, Casey. So why don't you tell me what you like about Malachi?
Okay. Nasty temperament, physical. It's almost like if you look at if you're on a high school team and you just have a dude that you just have to get the ball in his hands. It doesn't by hook or by crook, whether it's line them up in the backfield, whether it's a smoke screen, whether it's a little drag route over the middle. You just have to get this guy incorporated because you know what kind of damage you could do. And you go back to, like you pointed out, the Western Kentucky's tape. It was just like, it reminded me of Puka at BYU. It was like, whatever we got to do to get the ball in that dude's hands, let's just do that. That's the offense. And even though other teams do it, you couldn't stop it, you know. You can weaponize that. You can weaponize that kind of physicality. We don't have that. And like ever since 2019, everyone's been chasing Debo, right? You saw how the 49ers utilized Debo, and all of a sudden everybody's trying to look for a Debo. Man, the reality is there's not that many Debos out there, you know. Like there's just good luck. And I'm not saying by any stretch that Malachi Corley is Debo. But you see you can see the correlation. You can see where some aspects kind of lend itself to it, you know. But in my mind, he's such a raw player still. I don't know how much he developed in New York. I can't tell because we didn't get to see it come together on the field. So we got to get him in the practice room, which is exactly what they did. When it was first announced, for a second, we thought he went straight to the 53, which I thought would have been a mistake. He's a perfect candidate to get on a practice squad.
Yep.
Develop this kid. Weaponize this kid. He could be an integral part of your offense down the road, you know, and it could be by the end of this season, it could be next year. But like he's a very intriguing player because not many dudes walking around the planet have that skill set. Like he's special in that regard.
Yeah, he's a running back with the ball in his hands.
I just think it's interesting how, especially lately, the Browns have Andrew Berry's seemed to be able to identify some of these wide receivers that either were misused elsewhere or just do something that fits into the offense that they want to run. Like, okay, I know it was short-lived, but Elijah Moore was working here, man. He set his career high in receiving yards here with Joe Flacco and was on his way to his best game as a Brown before he got concussed against the Jets. He was working here. I maintain that. I know it's a small sample size, but it's like you look at Elijah Moore and then you look at Jerry Jeudy and how the Browns picked him up for peanuts and now you know, he has this career resurgence. I just think there's starting to be more like Jamari Thrash looks promising. I know we have less of a sample size there, but I'm just saying that there's these guys, and you add Luke Floria and now Gage into it that you're clearly identified something here, right? And so it gives me more confidence with Corley that they brought him in for a top 30 visit. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Like they have liked this guy for a long time, so I bet you they have a plan to use him.
That's like Elijah Moore. And especially Jerry Jeudy. I mean, Andrew Berry was trying to get Jerry Jeudy for like a decade before he finally got him. Like he was interested in getting that. Yeah, Corley is good at the sweeps, and so is Larvidan. So like, yeah, maybe.
And look, man, he might not have it. It might just not work at the next level for Corley for whatever reason, but it doesn't matter because he's on your practice squad. That is the perfect lottery ticket. If it hits, it's huge. If it doesn't, oh well. We'll just cycle it out after he proves that he can't. But like,
I loved it as a practice squad move, though. Like,
yes, that's exactly where I'm at. Let this kid develop, and if he shows you he's got juice, man, you can put him out there in games where they don't have tape on this kid. They don't have an idea how you're going to deploy him. And when you got someone like Fannin who can do all this shit, and someone like Corley who can do, you know what I mean? Like, you could put those dudes on the field together and really catch defenses on their heels.
Yeah.
I just want to add, I'm so excited about Isaiah Bond, man. That guy is fast as hell and looks like the type of receiver that they're just going to be able to take advantage of.
Sorry to hear that, Brian.
Hope things are okay over there, Brian. I still got my Browns masks too, but I'm excited about Bond, and I think it's interesting that you talk about another guy that for his own reasons that you should have had to spend a draft pick on, but now you didn't. And I really love the way Andrew Berry's doing that more and more and more, especially with Corley now.
Yeah, I really just like that we talked about like they've just got to bring in more guys with upside, like, and then they do Isaiah Bond and they find a way to get Malachi Corley, and you're just like, okay, these are guys that like have high ceilings. Like, yeah. Are they going to hit on all these UDFAs? No. They're, like not all of them are going to be studs. And, it doesn't mean Bond or Corley will work out. But they're taking chances on guys with a lot of upside, and the potential of that wide receiver room is good.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it's going to be, how's the offensive line hold up? How does the quarterback play? Things like that. But like, if you're talking about like, if Dylan Gabriel has to start multiple games in this season, even Shedeur Sanders, they've got guys that have the talent to make their lives a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be about coaching and working and getting it all to come together. Yeah. But like, they have brought in an influx of guys that have that. And, they got multiple speedsters with Bond, and I know that 4.46, but like, bring in Corley, like if you run a 4.4 anything, you've got some speed. There's some juice there. And I just think they're starting to do more of that, and it just, I'm with you, Jeff. And it's a combination of who they brought in and who performed in the preseason. Like, I'm like, man, I could see Larvadan being a guy that gets you 300 yards. Get you 300 yards this year. Has a couple big. Who Larvadan could be? If they're not the same type of wide receiver. But do you remember? Was it 2020? Kadero Hodge had like 13 catches and they were all first downs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could see Larvadan being like a 15 to 20 catch guy, and they're all like 15 yarders, and like 2 or 3 of them are touchdowns. And then for a UDFA who came out of nowhere, and is probably going to end up being your 5th or 6th wide receiver, if they could do that, like, I could see that. Like, again, a lot of things have got to go right for them. A lot.
The one thing that I look at is when we talk about getting just playmakers, we don't have to go back too far. You look at 23, really, Njoku was the only guy that could give you yards after the catch.
Yes.
That was really it as far as pass catchers go.
Yeah.
They have a bevy of dudes now where, there's a lot of smokescreen type stuff you can run, and you just quick outs and get the ball out, and just like long extensions, like extensions of your running game, get the ball out, let them get 3 to 5. And if they break, they break, because they got a couple guys with speed that can house some shit. You know what I mean? That's something they just didn't have 2 seasons ago. There's a litany of dudes now that fit that mold.
And this is something, sir. I'm sorry. I was doing this search thing. I'm sorry. We got too many damn people clicking on comments.
I love it. Thanks for being here, everybody. We love you.
Joe Flacco is one thing that will help the wide receiver over Pickett or a rookie. You know what's really cool? Like, I was talking to you about this today, Casey. I was talking about, like, one thing that Isaiah Bond brings no matter what is the threat to go over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just because he's that fast. And it was something we thought we would see more with Marquise Goodwin a few years ago. Drew, it's Wednesday. Anyway, there will be Wednesday shows. That is, I believe,
Yeah.
what we're trying to do, and we're trying to find a third day, but we're not really sure how.
Well,
that's
it'll depend on your schedule.
yeah,
I can see it Tuesday night as well, depending on how it shakes out for you. You know what I mean, as far as day shift versus night shift. But Wednesday can be kind of reliable because even if you work night shift, we can do it during the day.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
like,
Wednesday I'm
so
off
Wednesday,
too.
there are going to be a show on every Wednesday. Whether it's live and what time, we don't know, but
Yeah.
we do know
We're
Wednesday.
working on it. But
We
you
know
know
we will
what?
give you-
Right now is great evidence that you guys just find us, man. We really appreciate everybody being here. Just
We will have at least one of our shows live a week, so we're going to try to do 2 to 3 of these things.
we're gonna figure out how to work everything. We'll keep everybody informed, especially on the Discord that you can join and hang
Yes,
out.
join the Discord. Go over to YouTube, subscribe. Go into in the description. There is a link to the Discord, an invite link in the description of the video on YouTube, so you can join in there.
Do all of the things. Just do them all.
All
Do
of
it.
And the thing about Flacco, but like he's going to take those chances, and you even talked about Serge here, like he's going to get whoever's open. Like that's.
Keep in mind, Flacco was trying to link up with Cedric Tillman quite a multitude of times
running
while
some
he was
wrong
here. He
routes.
kept getting pissed at him, but he definitely wanted to throw to him because he thought like so. I think Flacco's probably gonna be one of those guys where they say he's completed passes to 8 different receivers or you know like those.
They have enough.
Yeah.
They have enough guys with potential, right? Like if I start doing it, let's do the thing, right? Jerry Jeudy is going to get a lot of time. I think he's going to love Jerry Jeudy. I really think he's going to love Jerry Jeudy. David Njoku, Cedric Tillman. I'm missing somebody right away. Harold Fannin, Jamari Thrash. Dylan Sampson, Jerome Ford. He loves Jerome Ford. Him and Jerome Ford out of the backfield, like that was a legit concern. Like they had some nice chemistry there.
Wow.
I'll never forget him getting hit in the face, and in Bond, Corley if he gets elevated.
It's one of those types of situations, man. He's got some options.
Raheem Sanders.
Raheem.
Like there's guys that have at least shown like that they can make plays with the ball in their hands, and there's a plethora of guys that create after the catch. And you're right, man. You're talking about Njoku being the only one. That's interesting. So yeah, we've been talking about the offense pretty much with the 53 man, and I think that's just because I am far more optimistic than I thought I was going to be. Just some guys played out. They brought in some guys.
Hey, the tackles are healthy this year.
The offensive line's healthy.
Yeah.
They got Cole Strange, a former first-round pick, that was crazy. They get Cole Strange from the Patriots.
You got a former first-round pick on your practice squad. In his first 3 seasons, he started 29 games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, like, was it a reach to take him in the first round out of UT Chattanooga? Yeah, probably. Where Sean McVay thought he was going to be available at 104. I don't know if you guys remember that clip.
I was going to ask you if you remembered that clip. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that clip. It was hilarious.
He's like, because
that's a luxury to have that kind of depth right there on your bench. You know what I mean? Like, that's playable for sure.
And they both talked about with Cole Strange and Corley, reporters had talked about today, like, they're starting on the practice squad, but they're looking at those guys as elevation guys. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, we're going to put you here. We're going to see what we can do, what we can work with you. And if like you show you got what it takes, like the opportunities are here in the wide receiver room, man. Like they need someone to step up, and there's plenty of guys that have the ability to step up. They just got to go out and do it.
The Corley situation is similar to Fannin. It's like, what can you handle? Like, here's all the stuff we can have you do. What can you handle? Then what kind of package can you kind of acclimate him to, and just kind of give you another X factor?
I just want to ask the one question is because do we know yet if Posick is going to be ready for week 1? Have they said anything?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Well, and they won't say it until he said he was optimistic, but they won't say anything until they have to, as far as injury reports and stuff come out. He said he was optimistic about him and who else? Who am I missing? Someone else got hurt, and then Stefanski, he says that there's a possibility they could be ready for week 1.
I don't remember. I know there's two of them, but I can't remember. The tackle I haven't really looked into the tackle they traded for, but I do know that tomorrow Sam Penix has an article coming out at the OBR about it.
Mm-hmm. I did work on him coming out.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Go ahead.
My guy's thick. KT Leviston, dude, he's a mauler. I saw him more as a guard, to be honest with you. And look, if you can play tackle, that's great. I just long term, I think his position will end up being guard in the NFL. But look, yeah, they're right. Whitebeard is, yeah, he was the other guy that got hurt. But if that's the one kind of area I was looking at, because when we did our roster predictions, I only put, even though I know they always keep 10 offensive linemen, I only predicted 9 because I didn't feel good about another tackle on the roster. I just didn't. And I know Tevin Jenkins can play both. He can play tackle and guard. Obviously, Cornelius Lucas for depth, but they obviously felt they needed to bolster that by making that trade for KT.
Yeah. We talk about that. Let's talk about the defense. We're 48 minutes in, so we're gonna have to blow through.
All right, let's roll.
All right, okay. How good is this defensive line gonna be? Stupid.
Sweating hot emoji.
It sounds like no Mike Hall week 1.
Okay.
Sounds like they're gonna be a little bit cautious with him.
But he's not out. He's not out the first 4, right? Which is a big deal.
Right. And there is still a belief that he could. My thing is, with what they've got,
don't need to rush
out there.
No, man, you got Malik. Malik gives you that push.
I'm telling
Obviously, you can
now,
kick Alex right in for pass rush as well.
They beat quarterbacks up all preseason, and I get it. It's preseason, but they beat that like it's. Okay, we've all watched how many preseasons now, right? Yeah, and it very well could be Aiden Huntington's season. Can you recall any other preseason where the defensive line just beat the living hell out of the opposing quarterback? Because I don't.
I think they'll set the single season franchise record for sacks.
Woo! Spicy take.
I think obviously Miles is the guy that you're going to look at. He's going to be, but I think you're going to have at least 3 other players that had 8 sacks or more. It's just going to rack up. There's just so many ways they can get to the quarterback. It becomes about, can you play with a lead? Because if you can get teams in obvious throwing situations with this defense, man, they can cook. And I don't feel as good as I did because of the cornerback stuff.
He is listening to you.
Well, they should. They've shown respect. I appreciate that. I have a connection with Busters, so.
He legitimately never sits still when I hold him like that for that long, but you talked to him for 45 seconds and he was literally just staring right at you.
Just captivated.
He's like, I see, go.
Hey, man, the last time the Browns actually played competently on offense, they had a damn good defense. I'm just saying. They go hand in hand, man. I think that's one of the biggest problems is you could have this great defense, but if the offense sucks, eventually they're just going to get tired. So I'm really hoping that's probably the thing I'm looking forward to most is just seeing a pass game that we know can be explosive.
I wanted to take what Jeff was saying, this Mason Graham thing. I think Mason Graham in this style of defense, this attacking style, I'm going to say something.
Hey.
Was Mason Graham improperly used in college?
Wow.
When it comes to pass rush, not as a run defender, because he was perfect as a run defender in college.
Yeah.
But is this a better scheme for his skill set? Because he fires off the ball really well and he's getting double teamed a lot and he's playing it. And it's just he's not going to get doubled like this when it's not the preseason. You're right about that, Christopher. Yeah.
So and that's my point. In Michigan, there was no, you know what I mean?
He demanded it. That was the first thing I ever wrote about him for the OBR last year, talking about the draft, was he demands double teams always. And my thing is, I told Dave Bacon on Sports for CLE today, I'm like, this attacking style like, I think Mason Graham gets 7 sacks this year.
Ooh, baby.
Are we gonna do a bold bets
should.
pod next week?
Well, Casey
This weekend?
just said the Browns are going to set their franchise sack record. I don't know if you heard that.
I only have heard it because I was really surprised by the dog just sitting there like that because he just doesn't sit like that.
Yeah, I'm going to do a little bold
for
action.
long enough. We'll be ready for a bold bets and season predictions episode this weekend probably.
I'm going to go ahead and fire off another one, though.
Go ahead.
And I have. You already know it.
remember
Carson Schlesinger could lead the league in set tackles, not just the Browns, the league.
Oh, update. I lost the bet on the 53 man roster. Did we say that?
We talked about it. We didn't really go into the bet part of it, but yeah, I mean, it was close, dude. You had 46 of the 53, and I had 47 of the 53. I mean,
Yeah, so I will Serge says Joe throws for 4,000. If Joe's healthy for 17, he throws for 4,000.
if Joe's healthy for 14, he throws for 4.
Probably.
Okay.
Here's the
I'll
thing.
say-
I told you guys this on Sunday, right? I said, is there a world where Joe Flacco is healthy for 17 games? And I'm like, if that does happen, it's because they're winning. Right?
No winning, yeah.
Yeah, they're winning.
Not that. All right, little spoiler, a little bold prediction spoiler, I suppose.
We just got to remember these bold predictions for the actual episode. When it comes.
Yeah. I'll just give you one. I'm going to say that Joe Flacco won't miss a game due to injury. I'm not saying he's going to start the whole year. I'm going to say he won't miss a game to injury next year. He's been so healthy for so long, and the last time he was seriously hurt, which I think Bill pointed out in one of our episodes, was in Denver. And what was that? That was like after a Super Bowl MVP run that he went to
Yeah,
Denver.
but he's also not started double-digit games since like 2017.
I still think he can do it, man. I still think he can do it. He looks in great shape. Arm's still strong. Like, obviously, he's keeping up. Why not? Like,
And it's the scheme fit for me. Like, he is built for what Stefanski wants to do.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers has been hurt much more than Joe Flacco, and I don't hear the same rhetoric around. Is Aaron Rodgers going to be healthy for the whole year? I just hear the Steelers are going to go try to contend for a Super Bowl.
I just can't wait to see him and Arthur Smith have meltdowns. That is oil and water. I can't wait for Aaron Rodgers to come to the line and start changing plays on Arthur Smith. That shit will be hilarious.
Hey, Nick, predict something good about Aaron Rodgers. I just want to test the Carnes curse.
Oh God, I hate this so much.
I feel so bad. I feel so bad for you because they just find something every time.
Every single time. There's always a tweet. I'll predict that Aaron Rodgers will feed DK Metcalf like the alpha he is. DK will probably have a career year.
Oh God, that means they're going to have a meltdown by week 4.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it might, but for what it's worth, I also put my money where my mouth is, and I bet all DK Metcalf's overs this year.
Dude, the vibes are so good. Here's the thing. So, I listened to Jake Burns and Brad Ward on Browns Film Breakdown, and Jake said, like, after they won that preseason game, he's like, I know they don't mean anything. Like, I know they're preseason games, whatever, but it's like, whenever you get good vibes, like, that's never bad. Like,
Right.
having good vibes and good things that you enjoy, like, that's not bad. So, like, winning 3 preseason games and showing potential is like, man, that's cool. Yeah, by the way, the next fucking Deshaun Watson working out video, like I just saw about 2 hours ago, I'm finding somebody.
Well, Lysandra said it earlier. She's like, they can't cut him because of money. Like, do you think the Browns at all want Deshaun Watson content in the Browns facility out there?
No, because they're not.
They're not the one putting it out.
And people were like, somebody like Mary Kay was like, she had of course put stuff out, and she was like, talked about how Deshaun or Kevin praised Deshaun. It's like, yeah, because you asked him.
Right.
Like,
the owner called it a swing and a miss, man.
Like
If
she keeps.
If you don't know where the organization's at, ask Jimmy.
That motherfucker.
Ask
I've
Jimmy
never-
That's one thing about. Sometimes he needs to shut his mouth. Like most of the time, he just needs to shut his mouth. But like he's never gonna like pull punches. Like I love it because he doubled down. Like first he was like, "Yeah, it was a swing and a miss," and they ask him about it again later. He's like, "Yeah, it was a swing and a miss. I said what I said." Like
Yeah.
Everybody
He's
else,
the one who has to pay the money. Like if anybody has the right to be like, no, this was an abject failure,
he's the only one that can say it.
the guy footing the bill.
everybody else, Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski, even D Haslam, they all talk in Morse code. Jimmy Haslam like puts that font to 64 and bolds it and just sends tweet. You know, like just doesn't care at all. I love it because it's a peek behind the curtain that none of them want you to get.
Yeah. They want you to they just want to be calm, cool, collected about it all.
Jimmy's like, well,
Josh, the reason they can't is because they kept kicking the can down the road, so it all became do at once if they do that. The reason the Russell thing was able because they were able to split it
Yeah,
over
they didn't
2
kick it
years.
down.
And I really, when they first did that to Russell, was before they started putting the back end years and void years on Deshaun's contract. I said it. I was like, the Broncos just cut Russell Wilson so we could let Deshaun walk. You know what I mean? Like it felt like that the correlation would have been there, but no, they just kept pushing everything, deferring everything, and extending his void years. So it would be crippling. You can't have that kind of mulligan on your, you know what I mean, on your salary cap.
Can I real quick praise Andrew Berry for getting a 5th round pick for Kenny Pickett somehow?
oh yeah.
But I thought that at first that's what I thought too. But it's like, yeah, but you also I can't like give you credit for putting the fire out if you're the one that caused the fire.
Yep. Okay, but here's the thing: his quarterback room was DTR, and he turned it into Kenny Pickett. You tell me that is not a better quarterback room.
Yeah.
I didn't like the Kenny Pickett move the day they made it, regardless if it was better than DTR, because DTR cannot be the bar.
Well, but it was. That was what you had.
That isn't it for me. I can't give you credit for signing a guy I hated that you signed, just because
Andrew
you
Berry's never seen a former first-round pick he didn't like.
That's true.
Never ever.
He loves him. He loves first.
And I've seen what he's done with other 5th round picks. I can think of Amari or Zadarius, and it's like it just didn't add up in my head. The 5th round pick.
But one thing that's nice about it is he did trade Detroit's 5th round pick and got Vegas's 5th round pick back.
Yeah.
All I know is like
I think 10 picks next year.
I try to give Andrew Berry a little bit of leniency in this one because if they've prepared for like a million different draft scenarios, not one of those draft scenarios has Shador falling to the 5th round and drafting 2 rookies. Not one of them. And so
Do you realize
all I'm saying is they had already committed to Kenny, and even though they took the 2 rookies, it's like I can't. How can I really blame them for at least seeing the process through? I don't know.
they were trying to find their next Sam Darnold, Geno Smith? That's what they were doing. They went and they tried to do that. It didn't work. I'm just glad they didn't try to force it and keep 4 quarterbacks heading into the season.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
I'm okay. They've got 4 quarterbacks now. Bailey Zappi's on the practice squad, and some people are like, well, that's weird. And I'm like, they didn't have a veteran outside of Joe Flacco, so like I'm okay with it. He's fine as I'm breaking glass in case of emergency. The kind of thing with him is I don't think Shedeur Sanders is ready to start NFL games, and so if they get put in that spot, they want a fallback play.
Well,
PJ Walker is a Charmin soft little bitch. I said. Can't tell you why. Maybe someday. I've told some people.
I know why.
Maybe someday I'll tell you why it's a little bitch. I mean,
I
we
feel
didn't really get to the defense, but like basically what we're saying is like there's a lot of stuff that happened with this team, and like
This is why we got multiple shows now, man.
I'm
This is why we
optimistic.
got multiple shows.
I'm optimistic.
Well, here's the thing, though, is and this isn't just nationally, but like we've been on the whipping post for a minute as far as everyone just being down on us, and there was a tsunami of negativity that ended the second week of camp. It basically ended when you went to Philly, and since then we've been on an uptrend. It feels you can feel the positive vibes building, and you know it doesn't matter what we say. but it feels very much like those guys in the locker room believe in themselves. And that's a dangerous thing. You got a veteran quarterback, you have a system that works, you got a defense that could be fucking ferocious. You start to put all those things together, man, you're going to come up with some wins, and people are going to be scratching their heads thinking, well, we thought they were going to pick in the top 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Right. I've been preaching that since the beginning, and I think Serge asked for record predictions here, and I'm still firm. Okay, I'm not trying to be Mr. Kool-Aid.
That comes in the bold prediction episode.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they call a teaser, folks.
That's what they call it.
That's what they call a teaser because there are going to be bets. I said it with an S.
Can't wait.
Dude, I'm sorry. Ever since you ate that Spam on draft night, I'm like, I love that content so much. I'm like, I just want us to make a bunch of it. Like,
Do you remember when I ate the
it's fun.
Diablo or the Carolina Reaper chips?
Oh, dude, and we fucking, and you know what we forgot? We were supposed to clip up part of it because he said something about hot steamy balls or something while he was eating it. And I was like, somebody fucking clip that. Somebody clip it right now.
Yeah, let us know.
We totally did not.
Well,
We did not.
A quick live behind the curtains. Would you either of you guys be able to do Sunday like at noon?
I don't know as of yet,
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't-
but it could be a possibility.
Okay. All right. We're gonna have to figure all that out. But
there it is.
I did. Okay. I must have said hot steamy balls. I don't know. The Carolina Reaper does strange things to a human being. But any final thoughts?
A couple good days, man. I feel good about where we're at.
Good vibes.
Yeah, and like I don't feel like any major injuries right now. Like, yeah, you've got some guys that might miss a little bit of time, but like a little bit, but I'm gonna be honest with you. If Luke Whippler starts against that defense week 1, might as well just go let Ethan get healthy for week 2 because yeah.
Bet the Browns week 1. Thank you for everyone for being here. We have such an active chat. I love it. We never take it for granted. Join us in Discord. It's in the description. Click that subscribe button and the like button in YouTube to help us chase streams. This has been a first of our first multi-episode Barking Browns week of the year. Nick, he's Casey. That's Jacob. Go Browns.
Okay. Oh shit.